this lesson, we'll learn about loops in C++. Loops let us repeat a block of code multiple times without rewriting it. This is super useful for tasks like counting, processing arrays, or creating games. The for loop. The for loop has three parts: initialization, semicolon, condition, semicolon, update or iteration. This loop will run as long as the condition is true. The while loop. In the while loop, we first initialize our value and then we write the loop while condition, and then inside the curly braces we update or iterate our counter manually. The do while loop. This loop is similar to while, but it always executes at least once because the condition is checked after the loop. Here we first initialize, then we ask the program to do certain work, and inside the curly braces we update or iterate, and after all this we check the condition with while. Let's understand break and continue. What does break do? Now we have already used break in our switch statement. Break stops the loop completely, whereas continue skips the current iteration and moves to the next one. Let's write some code. Let's create a for loop. For we have to initialize, that is int I equal to 1, then semicolons. Here we have to write our condition I less than equal to 5, let's say, semicolon, and then we have to update our value, that is I plus plus. Inside the curly braces we are writing cout hello, this is iteration. This is iteration I, and then line break. Let's save and run this. We got the output. Now what happened is we have declared I equal to 1. Now this will check whether I is less than or equal to 5, and then it will update its value. This is post increment. It will print first and then update. Now we are inside the curly braces. With cout we are printing hello, this is iteration, and this I will result the value of I, which in the first case is 1. So hello, this is iteration 1. Now I becomes 2. This 2 value will go here. It will again check the condition. If 2 is less than or equal to 5, which is true, then it will update its value, but first it will print. So this hello, this is iteration 2, and we got that. Now the value is 3. We will again check the condition, which is true. It will print first and then update its value. Hello, this is iteration 3. Now the value of I is 4. The condition is again true. Hello, this is iteration 4, and the value becomes 5 now. With 5, the condition is again true, as 5 is greater than or equal to, which is equal to here, 5. It will first print and then update the value, and hence we'll get hello, this is iteration 5, and the value is 6 now. It will again check whether the condition is true or false. Now 6 is less than or equal to 5, Now this condition becomes false and it will not run this for loop. Now let's create same program using while loop. In while, we first initialize the value, then we write while condition our code iteration, and then we update the value. Let's save and run this program. Okay, so here we have declared I equal to 1, and then with while we are checking if the condition is true or false. Here in this case it's true, and hence it will print iteration 1, and then we are updating the value. The I becomes 2. 2 is less than equal to 5, which is true, iteration 2, and similarly till 5, and with 5 we have I plus plus, which will become 6, and when we will have I equal to 6, the condition will become false as 6 is greater than 5. I hope you understood while loop. Let's code the program with do while. We initialize, right? Let me paste it here, and then we say do. So it will do. Okay, yeah. Now it will run, as I made a syntax error which was not including the semicolon here. Let me save it, run it. Now we have initialized I equal to 1, and it will print iteration number 1 and then update its value. After doing all this, it will check whether the condition was true or false. And hence I said it will always execute at least once because the condition is checked after the loop. Let's make a program using break and continue. Now we know that break stops the loop completely and continue skips the current iteration and moves to the next one. We have written this simple program using for loop. We have initialized I equal to 1, which will go up till 10, which will check this condition and updates its value. If we get I equal to 6, the program will break. This will stop the loop. If I modulus 2, which will give us remainder, equal to 0, we have continued. That is, here in this case we'll skip even numbers, and we have written cout I and then a line break. Let's run this program and see the output. Okay, so we got 1, 3 and 5. Let's see. I equal to 1, this condition is true. With I plus plus, it will print first and then increase its value. So if I, that is 1, equal to 6, which is not true, we will not enter this curly brace. 1 modulus 2 equal to 0, which is again not true, we will skip this curly brace and print 1. Now I is 2. 2 is less than equal to 10, true, and 2 becomes 3 after printing all this, right? So 2 is not equal to 6. We do not enter here. 2 modulus 2 will give us 0. We have written continue. This continue will skip the current iteration and move to the next one, which is 3 less than equal to 10. Here again not true, again not true, and we will have 3 as our output. Now I becomes 4 with this updation here, and now the condition is again true, but here the condition is false. Here the condition is true, it will continue, that is, skip this iteration and move to the next one. 5 is less than equal to 10, which is true. Here the condition is not true. Here the condition is again not true. And we will have 5 as our output. Now I becomes 6. This condition becomes true. This condition also becomes true. And we have written break. And what does break do? It stops the loop completely. So the loop stops completely and we have returned 0. That's it. Let's understand one more topic, that is nested loops. Just like nested ifs, we have nested loops. So for int j equal to 1, then we are checking the condition. If it's less than equal to 3, then we are updating its value. Inside the curly braces, we are writing cout I and then a comma, cout j, cout line break. Let's change this 10 to 3. Okay, let's save this code. Now what are we doing here? We have initialized I equal to 1. Now this loop will run till 3, right? With its updation. And once we enter this loop, we have another variable which is j, which is initialized as 1. Now this loop will check whether j is smaller than equal to 3 and it will update its value. If the condition is true, the code inside this bracket will run. Let's run this program. This is the output we got. Why do we use nested loops? Nested loops are useful for working with tables, patterns, and 2D arrays. So far in this lesson, we learned for, while, do while loops, how to control loops with break and continue, nested loops for complex tasks. Your challenge: print the multiplication table of a number using a loop and try to use both for and while loop. If you completed the challenge, drop a star in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till then, bye bye.